Official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere. It is Wednesday, October 15th. I am Spencer Linton. He is an AP voter for snarky social media comments. Jarom Jordan.
Okay, let's talk about what happened with the Big 12's Twitter account yesterday. George Stoya III tweeted, Brent Venables on playing in the SEC and it being a one-possession league. This isn't the old Big 12 days where Oklahoma destroys everybody every single week except one game of the year, #Sooners. To which the Big 12 quote tweeted the following. Coach Venables lost 8 conference games in his 2 seasons in the Big 12. Wow. That is aggressive, petty, and vindictive, and we're here for it. That's pretty funny.
I know there are some of you, especially Oklahoma fans, saying, well, he was an assistant at Oklahoma for a long time, and he experienced Oklahoma football at the peak of its powers in the Big 12, but when you are the head coach for 2 seasons there in the Big 12 and you lose that many conference games, what do you expect?
Yeah, you're referring to the Lincoln Riley era. Yeah.
What? You got to be careful, right?
And before. Yeah, Oklahoma dominated the Big 12 for a long time. He's not wrong, but it wasn't when he was the head coach. So, yeah, a little back and forth there, a little SEC.
He needed to add that little caveat.
Right.
When I was with Lincoln Riley, maybe.
And the Big 12 is, needs to defend itself, and it felt to do so here.
I loved it.
Wow. I was surprised. Yeah.
Couldn't tell. Yeah, we absolutely loved it. And on that note, rise and shout. Let's get to what's trending.
Jack Kelly's going to score! Keanu Tanuvasa with his first sack as a Cougars. And Evan Johnson does it again! He's got Chase Roberts in the end zone. What a play by Tanner Wall. Bear Buckmeyer gets in for 6.
What's trending, presented by Intermountain Healthcare, the official medical provider for BYU athletics. Hard to believe it, but we have reached the halfway point of the college football regular season, and maybe you've heard, as it pertains to BYU, the Cougars 6-0 and ranked 15th in the country. Did you know that?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it is pretty good.
That was news to me. I didn't know that.
Today we want to get on the accountability train, if you will, and track some of our preseason projections. Choo-choo. We'll discuss if we think BYU is pacing for our original predictions or if we want to adjust them for the second half of the season. Let's go ahead and start with the overall record projection. Jarom, you said BYU would go 9-3. I said 8-4. Do you want to stick with your 9-3 or in some way modify that prognostication?
Isn't BYU pacing for 12-0, Spence? What are you talking about? No, I'm going to stick with 9-3. I do think the schedule ramps up, as we talked about. Nice win against Arizona. BYU's probably slightly ahead of schedule. I hope, they continue to play well. I think the schedule's tougher. I think one-score games, swing things. I do think BYU finishes the regular season still at 9-3. 3-3 in the last 6. Given how tough the schedule is probably a reality. I hope it's not 2-4. I hope it is 4-2 or better. But I do feel like multiple losses are probably still sitting there. At Texas Tech is a really tough game.
At Cincinnati has become a weird, tough game.
At Iowa State, Utah this week, TCU, UCF at home feels like the most winnable game, and that's not a gimme. So, yes, I am sticking with 9-3 still.
I'm going to join you at that 9-3 mark. So BYU,
up on, baby.
Right now, 1 game better than I thought they would be originally at 8-4. I'll add this. If BYU beats Utah on Saturday, I know, huge if, massive game, then I probably am leaning towards 10-2. That momentum is real. If you beat Utah and you're 7-0, I feel like BYU can go 3-2 in the back 5 and finish 10-2 and 7-2 in conference.
Yeah. I mean, and then Iowa State, last year BYU got to 9-0. That just shocked us. That was amazing. Hopefully,
number 6 in the country at that point.
They continue to do that. The way that BYU is making enough plays to win are great. The only vulnerability there, Spence, is, yes, they've had to make certain plays at certain times to win against teams that we don't think are as good as the teams they're about to play. That's the sort of concern walking into Utah, at Iowa State, bye week at Texas Tech and TCU. That's the concern. Can you continue to make those plays against better competition? We hope the answer is yes.
Will you be in position to make those plays that could swing the game in your favor against better competition, or will earlier mistakes just take you out of the game?
Perhaps. Like the way that BYU's been turning the ball over the last 2 games, not sustainable against the competition they're about to play. You can't turn it over 2 or 3 times against Utah and feel confident you're going to win the game.
Totally fair.
The turnover margin's been massive in this series. When BYU takes care of the ball, they're in position to, or they win the game. Let's go. Okay, next up, Big 12 record. Spence, you thought 5-4 in Big 12 play. I said BYU would go 6-3. How you feeling?
If I'm going to 9-3, then and they're 6-0, it's got to be 6-3.
That changes immediately.
Once again, if BYU beats Utah this Saturday night, I feel like they have a real chance to be 7-2 in league and in contention to get to Dallas, which is pretty wild with a true freshman quarterback.
Yeah, I stick with my 6-3 because I'm pacing for 9-3, 6-3, 3-3 in the back. So I'm kind of on schedule with what I was hoping for. So I stick with what I had preseason.
Next up, BYU's best win of the season. Jarom, you said it would be this week against Utah. I said it would be on the road at Texas Tech after a bye week for BYU with 2 weeks for the Cougars to prepare for the Red Raiders. So, Jarom, are you sticking with Utah or do you want to modify it?
I don't want to modify it. I think this would be BYU's best win. I do think Texas Tech would be awesome. If BYU goes there and they win, that is the best win. No one's arguing that, right? I think Utah, 1, because rivalry, 2, because Utah is much improved. They've equaled their win total from last year already. They have an offense, as we talked about. They seem like a 9 or 10 win regular season team, Utah does. They seem very good. I think it'd be a great win, so I'm sticking with that.
I'd take either Utah or Texas Tech. Oh my goodness! Now that's a question. Like if you could pick one, because nationally at Texas Tech in Lubbock is going to resonate way more.
Yes.
Way more than beating Utah, but
100%.
I feel like for
Utah, there's an emotional element there.
The regional folks is like, I can't handle my super annoying neighbors for the next year.
We've given a name to said.
I don't want Daryl to bother me at church every Sunday.
Daryl drives a truck. He's got a little bit of a mullet, a little bit of a Utah County accent.
He might know one player on Utah's roster.
He has a child whose name ends in Lee.
How about that quarterback? You know his name? How about that quarterback? I get it.
I hate that you brought up that question.
I get it.
Because that is a difficult answer. I don't know what I would say to that.
What do you choose there? Because one would matter way more for the college football national landscape.
You get a guarantee one win. Which one? Texas Tech is probably the answer, but Utah's tough because Utah is improved. I think by the end of the year, if BYU beats Utah, that win will resonate. It won't resonate as much as Texas Tech, but it will resonate. Winner of this game is the second best team in the league, by the way. Like, clearly, everyone is going to be like, that's the second best team.
Yes.
I don't think there'll be a lot of discussion about that. It'll be like, okay, it's Texas Tech and BYU if they win the game. So let's go.
BYU would be 4-0 in Big 12 play if they win this game, and Utah would have 2 conference losses.
Yeah.
Massive swing game.
2, you're still in the mix for a tiebreaker at the end. I think if you get 3 conference losses, you are out of the Arlington race to get to Arlington. You are out. You are done. I don't think that – I think Tech will have 1 loss in the regular season. I think someone will pick them off once. And if they don't, they're not going to lose twice. And then it's who's going to have 1 or 2 losses with the tiebreaker. If you get 3, you are done.
Feels that way. I mean, I know that there will be mathematical formulas probably going into the last week for a 3-loss team based on who they've beaten and who they've lost to be potentially there.
I think there will be enough 7-2 squads.
Okay, so we mentioned Texas Tech and Utah. Both would be incredible wins. But if we're like putting a stamp on this and saying, okay, this will be the best win of the season, there's a guarantee element to this. I'm going to say at Cincinnati. And I think Cincinnati is going to be a top 20 team by the time BYU gets to that game in late November.
Ooh, let's look up the schedule here. That's interesting.
I think Cincinnati is for real.
You think they're the Arizona State of this year?
They're 3. I do. I think they're on that Arizona State trajectory. And interestingly enough, that game falls in the same place for BYU as the Arizona State game did last year. Second to last, the penultimate regular season game.
Okay, this week at Oklahoma State, that's a win. Cincinnati-Baylor's interesting on October 25th in Cincinnati. And then it's at Utah. That's a massive game.
Okay.
And then it's Arizona. Then it's BYU. And then they have TCU.
I think they'll have one loss. I think they'll have 1 conference loss when they take on BYU in late November.
Interesting. And then BYU is the second.
Okay, that's Cincinnati. Let's go.
Bowl game and opponent. You said Texas Bowl versus Texas A&M. Texas A&M looking really good right now.
They're super good.
They don't look like they're headed for this bowl game right now. I said Liberty Bowl versus Ole Miss. Ole Miss also looking very good.
Both are in the top 5.
Both are awesome. Yeah. So are you changing your pick?
I'm staying with the same bowl game.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously, because Texas A&M is on a much different trajectory than I thought they would be. They're actually good, Jarom.
I know. They always get hyped.
They're actually good.
Yep. David
right?
Nixon's second favorite team since he's from College Station.
I still say Texas Bowl, but Missouri is the opponent.
Okay.
Another quality SEC, probably ranked opponent for BYU in the Texas Bowl.
Beulah, the Penn State backup last year who transferred. They almost got Alabama last week.
The Texas Bowl is in a roundabout way, the 3rd or 4th place Big 12 team against 6th or 7th, maybe 8th in the SEC.
Yeah, which is probably fair.
And 6, 7, and 8 in the SEC right now, by the way, are Oklahoma, Missouri, and Vanderbilt.
Interesting, Vandy. The order is College Football Playoff, Alamo, Pop-Tarts, Texas, Liberty, and then there's a couple others. I say Liberty versus Ole Miss. Now, Ole Miss could certainly fall a bunch. It's probably not versus Ole Miss. I don't really care about who the opponent is. But Liberty Bowl is probably where you're at. I do think.
What if it was against Vanderbilt?
That'd be fun.
Another SEC team?
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great. I think it's going to be a good bowl game. I think BYU is going to finish in the top 5 in the Big 12, and they'll get a good bowl game.
Okay. Finally, our boldest guarantees. We'll revisit the old ones and then see if we want to adjust going forward.
Now, we say we want to adjust. This is not officially adjusted. It's just what you would have if you could now.
Correct.
But you got to stick with what you did preseason.
Yeah, and we'll revisit the originals.
Yeah. We're not going to be like, well, midseason. Nope. You call it early, and then we do it after. This is just for fun. This is just because we're at the halfway point, right?
Your
right?
bold guarantee was BYU will finish in the top 5 of the Big 12 standings.
Yeah.
I said the BYU will be ranked in the AP top 25 for at least half of the season. Both in play, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So what is your boldest guarantee for the back half of the season?
Top 5's not bold anymore, right? So I have to adjust. I think they will get a ranked road win at either Iowa State or Cincinnati. I think BYU will go get one of those two. That's my bold guarantee.
I love it. I said, again, I went with the rankings. I'm going to go ahead and say BYU will be in contention for a Big 12 title game appearance going into the final week of the season.
Into the final week.
Yep.
If this team loses, BYU wins.
Yep. BYU will be in contention to get to Dallas the final week of the season.
Now, if we're thinking they're 5-3 and getting that win against Cincinnati, there needs to be a lot of carnage for that to occur.
Hopefully BYU is 6-2 after the Cincinnati game and with a chance
they're better than we think they'll be.
To get to 7 conference wins if they beat UCF at home in their regular season finale.
We're calling for 3-3 in the final 6.
Yeah.
That's what you and I are saying.
Yes.
The hope is that they're already 3-2 with the UCF win. Now they're going to win at some tiebreak.
And beating Utah this weekend, obviously, is paramount in that.
Real quick, does BYU have to beat Utah this week to have a chance at Arlington? Do you think if they lost to Utah that they would have any chance to actually go to Arlington?
Yes, because of who they play. The opportunity is still on the schedule.
It exists, but it's not likely.
But the opponents actually allow BYU to drop a game like this. We'll have more on this tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We just brought up 2 topics we need to discuss at length tomorrow.
Go in detail tomorrow.
Beat Utah.
Okay. What is your boldest guarantee for the back half of BYU's football season? Weigh in on X, Facebook,
Spencer
and Instagram.
Spencer will shave his head if BYU goes to the Big 12 title game.
At KDG30 on X says Bear Bachmeier will win Big 12 Freshman of the Year. Is that bold now?
That's not bold at all. He is he's winning the Delaney Gibb Big 12 Rookie of the Week every week.
At GBUDM on X says that the schedule isn't nearly as difficult as BYU media is selling it as. And 8-4 would be a major disappointment based on where the expectations should be for the program.
BYU media.
What are you seeing
you aren't watching
in
the
the
other
back
games?
half of the schedule to suggest that the schedule is not way more difficult?
You aren't looking
right now.
It's not even close. Dismissed. Control Alt Delete.
Again.
I'm sending you into the grid with Tron. I'm just sending you in there. I'm sorry. I went and saw that last night. It was all right.
GBUDM. You know this is a ranked matchup this weekend. And then BYU is going to have to play at Iowa State, which is one of the toughest places to play. Then you're going to have a ranked matchup at Texas Tech. Then you get TCU. Then probably a ranked matchup at Cincinnati. How is that not way more difficult?
It is. That's
all right.
Sorry. GBUDM. Thanks for weighing in, but no. Does Bear Bachmeier need to outplay Devin Dampier for BYU to beat Utah?
No, it's not as simple as that. Bear Bachmeier needs to take care of the ball, and I don't think he can turn it over, Jarom.
Zero giveaways.
I don't think Bear Bachmeier can turn the ball over.
What if
BYU to feel good about winning this game?
If BYU gets 3 takeaways, that's fine. Like, 1 would be fine.
Yeah. And again, if BYU does have a giveaway, fine, whatever. Someone fumbles, heaven forbid, or there's something else weird that happens and there is a giveaway. I just think that if he throws an interception and it's one of those devastating turnovers that grants Utah field position in the red zone and allows
like
them to take the crowd out of the game.
At the 1.
Yes, like something like that.
That was
you just
crazy, right?
Just have to avoid it. But maybe that's too stringent for me to say.
Is the margin that small of what BYU needs to do to beat Utah?
I think they have to win the turnover battle. They can't lose it. It has to be even.
Can it be even?
It could be even, but they cannot lose it.
They can't lose it?
They cannot lose it, and Bear is a huge part of that stat, obviously, because he has the ball in his hands so many times.
Right.
But outplaying Devin Dampier, no, Devin Dampier could have better statistics than Bear Bachmeier, and BYU still wins this game. It's going to come down to 2 things, I think. BYU either being even in or winning the turnover margin, and can BYU's red zone defense, which has been very good this season, slow down one of the best red zone offenses in the entire country.
Yeah, they're great.
Utah is the number 3 red zone offense in the country. I'm trying to remember the specific number for BYU's red zone defense. I think it's top 20. Can BYU's defense win in that portion of the field and hold Utah to a few field goals? Because Utah has scored touchdowns on 25 of their 29 red zone drives. That is wildly effective.
Yeah, BYU is allowing 41% touchdowns in the red zone, which is a low number. That's good. I don't have the national rank, but that is good. Okay, if Bear does outplay Devin Dampier, BYU wins, guaranteed. They will win. Utah is, like most college football teams, very dependent on the quarterback. The usage rate, if you will, in basketball, is high with him.
As it should be.
He's been playing great. He runs about 10 times a game. He's averaging like 6 yards per carry. He's awesome. BYU isn't like that. They don't depend on Bear. Unless it's the end of the Arizona game. Then they said, Bear, you got to run a ton.
Or the Colorado game late.
Don't chuck it a ton. Just run. They rode Bear's legs to victory. Utah offense, yeah. They need their stats aren't comparable because they don't ask them to do the same things. But yes, he has to limit the turnovers. 4 giveaways for Bear the last 2 weeks. Can't have that, as you mentioned. That fumble inside the 10 nearly cost BYU the game. Luckily, Kyle Safarchuk jumped on it. That has to stop, or Utah runs away with it against BYU. They have to take care of the football, as you mentioned, and then he's got to use his legs in the run game a bunch. I think that Bear runs the ball 15-plus times in this game.
Ooh. Okay, 15. That's high usage.
We saw what BYU expects when the game's on the line. They said, no Enoch, who was hurt, no Jovessa, no Preston. They said it's just LJ and Bear in the run game at the end.
Okay.
I think we'll see a lot of that Saturday.
Let's go.
I hope, maybe Preston gets in there and has a 16-yard gain on 3rd and 1 like he did against Arizona. Perhaps. We'll see. But I think it's a lot of Bear and LJ.
All right. Again, time to call a football timeout because we got some wonderful TV times and designations for BYU basketball.
Yes, we do. Yesterday, the Big 12 announced the TV times and designations for all BYU men's basketball games this season. Let's walk through it. So BYU is going to be on ESPN or ESPN2 14 times.
Love it.
Fox thrice, which is fun. TNT, it's Dynamite twice. Peacock twice, welcome to the league. FS1, 2, CBS 1, CBS Sports Network 1, and ESPN Plus 5 times. That's pretty cool. What do you make of BYU's TV times and designations?
I love that this is exactly what we thought it would be. Everybody wants in on the Cougs.
AJ.
They all want to see AJ DiBonsa and a top 10 basketball team, not surprisingly. We thought that, a lot of TV providers are going to be very, very interested in what the Cougars have to offer in terms of a product. Yeah, it's the real deal. So I like that it's what we thought it would be. There are a couple of things specifically that I'm very interested to see. Big Monday is a fun change-up. Like to have BYU on the mothership of ESPN on Big Monday.
Arizona, love it.
That's a really fun game. And then the Big 12 opener is on CBS.
That's great.
At Kansas State.
Love that.
I love that BYU is going to have that national spotlight for their Big 12 opener.
Jerome Tang.
Yes.
We love Jerome.
So those are the 2 things that immediately jump off page to me.
Adding to that, season opener on TNT against Villanova is cool. And then for some reason, TNT is doing the Abilene Christian game in Provo on December 19th. I think that's great.
Welcome, Turner Media.
Yeah, BYU versus Utah on Fox at home will be cool. 9 different linear streaming platforms will be unique. So this will be great. Can't wait, man. And we didn't even include the exhibition of Big Ten Plus at Nebraska Saturday. So, yeah.
Still raising money to be able to watch that game.
There's a GoFundMe for all of us.
We expect the Big 12 basketball preseason poll to be released sometime soon, with Big 12 Media Days happening next week in Kansas City. Jarom, you'll be there for all of that fun. Where do you expect BYU to land in the Big 12 preseason poll?
2. I expect Houston, then BYU, reflective of the AP poll. I think people realize how good BYU is. They'll be number 2.
Who do you expect behind BYU?
Ooh, that's the good question.
Because I think there's a lot of movement potentially there.
Yeah, there's a ton. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's where it starts to be interesting. I think Houston, then BYU is pretty obvious. Yeah, maybe in Arizona.
Maybe Texas Tech or Arizona.
Probably Texas Tech. I would say Texas Tech.
Yeah, I'd probably put Texas Tech there, but I'm with you. Houston number 1, BYU number 2, Texas Tech number 3. I think there is a chance that league. Well, if you're just asking strictly coaches, then I think that the coaches may lean on Texas Tech a little bit more.
And they might even be second.
Maybe BYU's third and Texas Tech is second.
Perhaps, but I believe BYU deserves to be second. Houston should be 1. So with that said, they'll release the preseason teams, 10 players on the preseason team, freshman player of the year, newcomer of the year. Who do you expect on those?
Oof. It should be A.J. DeBonta and Richie Saunders, no doubt about it, on the 10-player preseason team.
Yes.
Like, that should happen.
And 2 of the top 10, yeah.
Richie was an all Big 12 player postseason.
And he's back.
And he's back with BYU, and they're a top 10 team. So, yeah. A.J. and Richie going to show up on that team. I don't know if Rob Wright.
I think he's just outside.
Will have enough to get in that top 10.
By the end of the season, we hope he's on it.
Yeah. Freshman of the year is an interesting conversation because.
Are they going to do a you think?
You might have 1 and 2 in the NBA draft out of the Big 12 with Darren Peterson at Kansas and A.J. DeBonta at BYU. So, yeah, will they have preseason freshmen of the year?
If they're tied, yeah.
Could be AJ. It's either AJ or Darren Peterson.
Yes.
It's one of the two.
Yep.
Player of the year, the reigning player of the year is back.
Give it to him.
Yeah, JT Toppin at Texas Tech.
Yes.
That he should be the preseason player of the year. Newcomer of the year, does Rob Wright III count as a newcomer because he switched teams?
Oh, that's interesting.
But he's
not
in
to
the same conference?
I don't even think he would win it. To me, it's PJ Haggerty from Memphis.
Okay.
He's a 20-a-game guy. He'll be the guy.
Yeah. No, that's a great point.
Yeah.
He's big. He's an NBA player.
But it's a good question with Rob. I don't think so. I would think it's a newcomer to the league.
Okay.
But I don't know the rule. That's a good question you bring up. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know that Kennard Davis is going to do enough offensively to even be close to that conversation.
No. He's more of a role player. This is like star-studded, headlining kind of homies. We love Moo.
Fun time of year.
Moo's great. Okay, broadcast schedule for BYU against Utah Saturday. Number 23 versus number 15. First-ranked matchup between these two since 2009. 6 Eastern time on BYUtv, BYU Radio. Games on Fox and BYU Radio. Post-game on BYUtv and BYU Radio. Cannot wait for Saturday night.
After the break, former BYU and NFL quarterback John Beck still finds his guy. Harleen's still open. He discusses that play and what the BYU-Utah rivalry means to him. This is BYU Sports Nation.
BYU Sports Nation is brought to you by Intermountain Health, official